Welcome everybody to Davos Web3 edition 2. With me is Dr. Jonathan Chang of Zero G Foundation, Zero G Labs. Jonathan, how's Davos been so far for you?
Wow. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me and having us here. Very excited. This is my first time in Davos. I have to say that just the energy of this town is amazing. There is everywhere you go, there's so many great meetings, great conversations, and what I like about it, of course, you do have the World Economic Forum where things are a little bit more formal, but outside of it, on the sideline, this is really great catching up. It's almost sometimes feel like old friends haven't seen each other for some time. And actually, matter of fact, I do see some of my old colleagues, so it's kind of nice.
Nice. In fact, this is year 4 for me. And my experience is that when you attend Davos for the first time, you either love it so much that you say, I'll come every year, or you say, it wasn't me and I'll never come again. You look like you're going to be the former.
Yes.
So now I want you to tell us about Zero G Labs and what you're really trying to do there.
Yes. So perhaps I give a sort of more high level sort of description on zero gravity or zero G. So we are layer 1 blockchain decentralized AI platform, and within it we also have decentralized storage and compute. And recently, which is a few months ago, last year, we generated our own token as well.
Excellent.
And it's traded in more than 20 exchanges around the world. And so it is an interesting project in which we're building up an ecosystem, and that's a lot of work. But then we got a lot of people interested in sort of coming onto our platform, building up apps. One of our main selling point is that things on our app can be processed at a more efficient way and more cost effective. And decentralized AI means isn't quite sort of almost like an open source. There's a data transparency and accountability.
Okay. So what I found in the entire Web3 space, I'm not narrowing it down to decentralized AI, is that great infra has been built. Scalability questions are getting solved. Apps are getting built because using the tokenomics of the infra, we are attracting projects. But that is often where the good news ends. What we find thereafter is that usage is still not coming in. And this could have many reasons. I have my own theories there. But how are you preparing for usage and adoption?
Another great question. Look, so let's step back a little bit, right? Let's not just looking at Web3, because adoption and usage, it is not an issue that is unique to Web3. Pretty much on every major technology platform, there's always an issue like that, right? Now, it's a chicken and egg thing in a way. There will be users, there will be adoptions if the apps and the platform are great. That the apps on the platform are useful and people really like it. People really they find it something that is easy to use. On the other hand, app developers tend to want to produce apps if they know there will be a lot of people using it, right? So I think this is where the marketplace has to be tackled on both sides. It cannot just be we focusing on the apps, but then we're neglecting the users, and then looking at the users, but then there's not enough apps. One example that I can draw from a Web 2 example is, let's say, the car sharing app. Let's say Uber, right? I'm not trying to endorse any company, but Uber is a good example. When they started it, well, if you're a passenger, you want to have a car that is around your vicinity, but the drivers want to pick up some passengers as well. Now, how Uber does it, and maybe this is something that we can do in the Web3, they actually make some sort of guaranteed of income for the drivers, so that way there is at least a consistent supply of drivers. And that is actually something that we do at the Zero G Foundation as well. We have a quite substantial fund set aside to support the building of our ecosystem.
Got it. So there are many projects that have grants or other programs for builders. However, Web3 is primarily known, like, if you've seen how Web 1 is different from 2 to 3, is primarily known to have an ownership economy. So ownership is not ownership only of builders, but also of users. Do you have that dimension as part of zero gravity?
Can you elaborate a little bit, sort of where the direction that you're seeing in terms of the
What I will do
ownership?
is
Yeah.
I will imagine that Uber, because
Yes.
that was the example that came up, was a Web3 tokenomics based economy. So what would happen is that currently we understand how the rider and the driver work.
Yeah.
But if we could also introduce a passenger dimension to introduce loyalty, so that, let's say, Uber makes a certain amount of profit. This profit or a portion of it is distributed to the users, or people who refer other people are not just getting, a certain amount, like a $10, or I don't know what is the referral fee, but also getting a greater share of the ownership of the profits into eternity. So effectively, all passengers become co-founders of Uber to a limited extent. This is what would be an example of ownership economy.
That's a good point to bring out. I would say that what is unique about zero gravity and zero G. Again, I'm not commenting on the behalf of the entire sector, because there are a lot of other companies, and depending on where they are, they have different solutions at different stages. But for instance, the fact that zero G has its own token that people can use, they can trade, they can make an investment as well, and that token price can perhaps go up depending on how many adoptions, usage, and also the overall economy around the ecosystem. I would say there is now, people, there's part of them, right? It's almost, again, drawing into a parallel of a country. Why some people would like to have the currency of their a country, because they know the economy is supporting it. There's a lot of activities, there are trades, that the currency is widely used, and there is adoptions. So I think that's part of it as well.
Thank you very much for that. So you're saying that owning the token itself gives you the ownership effect. That was it. That is Dr. Jonathan Chang from Zero Gravity. Looking forward to meeting you again in the next Davos event. Thank you.
Thank you.